Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel here in High Rock Park in Staten Island, New York. I met up with Vince, and Vince has a really cool cargo trailer camper conversion that he built himself, and he's going to give us a tour of it today. So join us.
Hi, my name is Vince. We're up here in the woods of Staten Island, and I've come to show you my trailer. This is a 5x8 cargo trailer, 6-foot height inside. It's basically the trailer that every landscaper uses. They're built to last. They're built for someone to be working out of them. So as far as longevity on a camper, it should last quite a while. We're going to go to the back first. And you'll notice the two awnings, one on the side and one on the back. Side awning comes out 8 feet, rear awning comes out 6 feet. We have a regular door on the back with a bar lock. In the rear is the kitchen area, which is also accessible from the inside. I have a latch so that the door doesn't get blown around in the wind. And you have a small kitchen area. Everything's done in hardwoods and birch plywood for strength and lightness. We have a undermounted sink here in this butcher block countertop. Sink is pressurized water, just like your house. You just open it up, it would come out. You have two pantries in here, one on either side. A little bit of mess, but that's okay. 110 volt outlet here, 12 volt outlet here. You have the business end of it. Here's the pressurized water pump. You have your bottom of your sink, your drain, vent, your fill, going down to the 16-gallon freshwater tank. I use just a 1-pound propane, so this is the fitting for it. That fitting can come out and go straight to a 20-pounder or a 5-pounder if need be. You have a single burner propane stove because I've never had the need to cook with 2 pots when I'm camping. 53 quart compressor driven refrigerator on a drawer, so it's out of the way when you're not using it. More than enough for 2 people for a week. This we'll show you when we get inside, but this partition folds up so that you can access all of this from the inside. If you want to make your coffee when it's raining, you can still get to it without coming out of the trailer. Up above also, more storage. You can see, keep my pots and pans up here. And there's also room to put your spices, small items, your cutlery. LED lighting all around the trailer, inside and out. Again here, another storage area for your canned goods, dry goods. I used a Craig jig and made my door frames, routed out the back and dropped in a piece of birch plywood for flush panel doors. These locks open and close when they're in the out position. You push them in though and they lock so they can't open up while you're driving. You have a solid butcher block countertop. Makes for a nice cutting area in the middle. Nice and strong, stiffens up the trailer. I have removable stabilizers. So these slide in and out when you get to your campsite. Just tap on them, they'll drop down. And that'll keep the trailer from rocking back and forth while you're going in and out. Just makes it a little more comfortable. This is a lockable door for the water fill. Don't want anybody messing with your water. You have 15-inch radial tires. It's one of the reasons I like these trailers, because you can tow them at highway speeds all day long. All LED lighting on the trailer. You have 15 by 30 windows with screens. On all 4 sides I installed LED motion lights that are solar charged, so there's no switches, no nothing. All you need to do is turn them on. If you set them to the last, it'll go off now, because now it's a motion light that'll come on only when it's dark. This is a 030 aluminum side versus the 024, which is the thinner. This is a little stronger. The whole trailer weighs in just under 1,500 pounds, which for most purposes will be towed with anything with a V6 or larger. Usually a smaller SUV will work. I tow it with my Ford F-150 that I have set up for off-road, and will get me out of any predicament that I need, because going down these forest roads sometimes there's large areas of mud. I have a standard 2-inch ball, which is what most of these trailers come with. It's got a tongue jack, and I also put a spare tire carrier on it, so it was nice and easy to access. Now, let me close this to get it out of the way. Okay, going into the front, your living quarters. This is a standard RV door. It was a little big for this application, so it had to be cut down. It's got the double RV lock, deadbolt, and a regular handle lock. Obscure glass. You can see I had to make a bracket so that this could be held open, so you don't have to worry about the wind. This is the standard 15 amp service that you can hook into your garage to keep the batteries charged if you had a cover over it or it was under a carport. And this is an accessory solar, so you could put a solar panel out into the sun if you needed to. Okay, on the door we also have screen door. You won't see this in some of these smaller trailers especially, but it allows you to keep the bugs out before you go to bed. I usually put a little mosquito trapper in there before I go to sleep, and that way everything stays nice and cozy. We have the waterproof vinyl flooring that you find at all the big box stores for a floor. Beneath that is a subflooring and a 1/2 inch of foiled back foam, and the base on that is 3/4 inch wax plywood, so it's impervious to water. Again, everything is done in here with birch, cabinet grade plywood, and poplar hardwoods. Take it inside, and we'll start in the front here. A little more modern, but 24-inch smart TV. Over on the side here is your 20 amp MPPT solar charger. This is a Bluetooth model, so you can also check it from your phone. Below that is your switch to turn on the pure sine wave 1500 watt inverter. After the power gets to the batteries, it comes up to a main battery switch, which will disconnect everything in case of an emergency. Plus it keeps any drain from the battery when you're not using it. That goes from there through a 30 amp waterproof breaker, and then up to distribution. You have a switch panel with circuit breakers, a voltage gauge, 4 USB ports, and inside is anything out on the panel goes through a regular fuse box, just like a boat would have. Jack for the 12-volt TV. Back there are the 2 bus bars and a 110 volt charger for the batteries. And if you can see up on top, there's 1-inch foam insulation, which is also throughout the trailer. All the wiring is done with marine wiring, which is a tinned copper wire. All these panels here are completely removable with one screw, so that you can do any work on them or change a switch or a fuse or add things. Nice little desk area here, which comes in handy for your toiletries while you're camping. We have stereo speaker, little weather station, tells me how cold it is inside and outside. DVD player, because a lot of times you have no signal. At least you can watch TV. Just some pictures on the walls. Under here, besides storage, are the 200 amp hour batteries, AGM sealed lead acid. And if you can see in the corner here is the 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter. This little blue switch here is when you come in from the outside, you can turn your light on or you can dim it for a night light. All LED, takes very little power. On the ceiling here, we have a max fan, 4-speed max fan, which will make this a wind tunnel basically. And the best part is on low, it's dead quiet, makes no sound. Again, LED lighting. This one is out of a boat, either white or red, so you don't lose your night vision if you're coming in and out. And for you ladies, especially, here we have a Thetford Porta potty, and in order to use it or to dump it, easy access, the front panel comes out. Everything's on lifts, so you don't have to hold things up. And the rest of the bench here is your 2 water tanks, the 16-gallon freshwater and a 13-gallon graywater. You also have storage, because they only take about half the space. Okay, also on the interior you can see these 2 little bump outs, one on either side, these little chases. This was all the original trailer wiring for the brake lights, turn lights, etc. And in here is all my wiring that I put in for everything that's in the back, the ceiling fan, the lights, goes through here and then up underneath through the insulation into the plywood. The sofa is a 4-inch memory foam mattress. It's a futon style that pulls out and fills this bed into a full-size bed. On the back wall here, you can see the hinge. This is a partition that opens up to the back so that you can use your galley if the weather is not great. It also gives a lot of airflow through here once the back door is open. The sofa has 2 panels underneath that pull out, and there's storage underneath the whole back of the sofa. These pull forward. That would pull right to the front here. The mattress, once open, is a full-size mattress. It's 78 by 55, one size shorter than a queen, which is 60 by 80. It's a 4-inch memory foam, very comfortable. I woke up on it and, not knowing I was here, thought I was in my own home. And it, as you can see, it only takes a minute to deploy and only a minute to get it back up. It's just a matter of sliding it back into place, closing up your supports here, and in the middle of this one and the other one, because it's not supported, it's split. we have a support bar that just goes in nice and easy. And now, no problems. Nice and solid, simple. If you ever lost them, you could use a stick from the woods. It's not a big deal.
Vince, thank you very much for taking the time today to give us a tour of your beautiful creation. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about why you decided to build your own cargo trailer camper conversion?
Well, throughout the years, I used to go camping a lot with my son and Boy Scouts, and I retired a few years ago and decided I wanted to get back to the woods. I'm an avid wildlife photographer, so I spent a lot of time in the woods, and this gives me a little flexibility as to where I'm going to be and where I can stay, because a lot of times it's pretty far from the nearest hotel. I like the cargo trailers because of their durability. This one is a 5x8 again. It's 6 foot inside, so you can stand. I wanted certain things in it that I wanted, plus I put things in it that I thought other people would want, because I knew eventually I would sell it. And it is for sale now. It's basically a new trailer. It's pretty much got everything in it. I built it at my own home. I'm a DIY. I have a little shop in my one-car garage, enough to do all the cabinetry, the electrical, and the plumbing. I do a lot of boats for my son, so I'm constantly rebuilding something. I also own my own boat. I started with building the back of my truck and getting that ready for off-road. And since I've finished this one, I've spent a few times in the woods, and usually the only person I'll see is a forest ranger, because I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Is there anything that our viewers, if they were interested in building or buying a cargo trailer conversion, is there anything about the actual trailer that you start with that's important?
Well, you have to worry about what you're going to use for a tow vehicle first, and then you can set your size. You can't take a small car and expect to tow a 20-foot trailer. That would be basically just a truck of some type. A trailer like this, you can still do a small SUV. If it had a V6 in it, you can go online and find out capabilities of towing on your own vehicle. Other things that I wanted it to be self-sustaining. I wanted it to have water, to have cooking facilities, to have electric that would sustain itself day to day. This trailer will sit by itself and will do all its functions without any hookups. So the solar on the roof is enough to power everything in this trailer on a day-to-day basis.
And is there a certain frame structure or axle system that is more preferred for this type of build?
Well, the frame structure is going to be pretty standard on all of these trailers. They're all 3,000 pound GVW with the single axle. This is a Dexter axle, which is probably the most common in the US. You can get parts in any auto parts store if you needed to do a replacement 10 years from now on a wheel bearing or something. This has easy lube hubs, which makes it easy to keep the grease in there, and caps so it stays waterproof. The thickness of the skin, there's two different thicknesses basically. There's the 0.024 and the 0.030, the 30 being the thicker, and it just gives a little more rigidity.
And is the front nose being like a V nose better for aerodynamics, better for additional storage? Is it free space?
When you buy a trailer like this is called a 5x8 trailer. The 5x8 part is the rectangle. The V nose is an add-on, kind of a freebie at this point. They haven't figured that they could make it a 10-foot trailer and sell it as a 10-foot trailer like they do boats. When a boat has a 2-foot bowsprit, that adds to the length of the boat. So it's a 26, not a 24-foot boat. But this works out great because it keeps stuff out of your living area and makes this living area a little more usable.
I'll make sure I link to your ad so people that are interested in possibly buying this or checking it out will be able to get to some additional information. You built it, you're selling it, what's next?
Well, when this one goes, I have some ideas and plans for another one. It's going to be a little different than this. I may go up one step in the size to a 6x10. That'll be a little more flexible. Going from a 5x8 to a 6x10 doesn't sound that big, but when you figure interior space, it's huge.
I know when we were looking at your tow vehicle before, you utilize your tow vehicle a lot for additional storage. A lot of people don't connect with that. They believe that a lot of the stuff has to stay in the trailer. Can you show us a little bit about what you have in the back of your truck?
Well, I originally set this up to have a rooftop tent, which I sold. But now I just use it for basically bringing everything else to the campsite. I have extra firewood because sometimes you'll get to a place that's been pretty much used out, no down trees in the woods or anything. I have my leveling blocks so that you can level out the trailer so you're not rolling into one corner all the time. I have my 2 fire extinguishers, just safety. They're out here because if anything inside ever caught fire, I could still get to them. I have a little stool so I can get up onto my roof if I need to. In the back of the truck, I have a second little refrigerator, and when I use it with a trailer, I set this one to freeze. So I have a little freezer, and the one in the trailer stays a refrigerator. I have drawers behind both of these here. These drawers go all the way to the front for storage. Then I have bins of different things according to what I'm doing, whether I'm working on a boat or I'm just going camping. Over here I have my electrical panel and battery. Battery's a 90 amp hour deep cycle marine. You have a 1000-watt inverter here so I can plug in a router or a jigsaw if I'm working on something. Up on the roof, I have a 100-watt solar panel which charges the rear battery, and that'll keep that going day to day because it's only the little refrigerator back there basically. My antennas, I have 3 different radios in the truck, ham radio, GMRS, and CB, so that if I'm off grid I can usually get to someone because I'm not getting as young as I used to be.
And cell phone service is not available.
Yeah, very rarely is there cell phone service available.
A lot of overlanders I see have all the different CB radios and ham radio.
And then I have a 10,000 pound winch on the front because where I go, you're not going to be able to call a tow truck.
Well, Vince, thank you very much for taking the time to give us a tour of your beautiful creation. This is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. I love it. And we'll see you soon.